This is Ms. No Nonsense. Her students learn like crazy because she has high standards and builds good relationships. She reinforces those things by making parent phone calls, usually 30 minutes a day, and it seems to work. Kids in her class try hard, complete homework, and stay engaged. So during her prep period one day, she decides to sell the idea to some of her colleagues. She tells them her increased phone time is really paying off and offers to show them how. But her idea is met with understandable ambivalence. Miss Creative Writing says she has too much grading to make time for calls. Mr. Studio Art doesn't do well having hard conversations. Miss Comp Sci thinks phone calls go beyond the scope of her duties. And Mr. History doesn't speak the same language as many of his students' parents. But Miss Biology thinks she could make it work and asks Miss No Nonsense to show her how. They go to Miss Biology's classroom, and Miss No Nonsense asks her which of their students' families should get the first calls. Like most teachers would, Miss Biology points out Tom and David. These are the students that teachers often identify for some type of intervention, like calling home or a parent meeting. They might sometimes get decent grades, but they often show low effort and can be a distraction to themselves and others. But Miss No Nonsense stresses that the other kids need attention too. There's Kinzina, who's doing well but could be doing great. Susie, who it's easy to sometimes forget about. Ulysses, who's okay now but could soon be at risk of failing. And then there's Sarah, who needs inspiration and urgency. You should be calling all of their parents, says Miss No Nonsense. Why? Well, first of all, it's fair. It's your job to get all students to learn, not just the ones who show up ready and willing. Moreover, investing certain students in the work can have a snowball effect. If Sarah looks around and sees her peers working hard, she might be motivated to step up her game too. And remember, says Miss No Nonsense, don't let yourself believe that your students can't grow. Your mindset should be that all of them have the potential to be like Kinzina. Miss No Nonsense totally understands where the other teachers were coming from. Their reasons for not calling are valid. But Miss No Nonsense makes the time, because 30 minutes a day calling families pays much higher dividends than, say, 30 more minutes spent tweaking tomorrow's lesson. She even bought a hands-free device to use her commute time for calls. When she needs a translator, she often asks to speak to an older sibling. And although she doesn't like having hard conversations about students any more than the rest of us, her conversations aren't as hard, because she makes positive calls too. That's why parents tend to trust her and have her back. Ms. Biology looks sold. She's ready. She plans to call Sarah's dad to tell him that Sarah answered 3 questions today in class, way more than normal. And then she's going to call Tom's aunt to see if she can brainstorm how to get Tom more focused during independent work. But what does she even say? She's never made these kind of calls before. Miss No Nonsense says not to worry. She wrote it all down. A manual for what to say when making both praise and correction calls. Click to the next mini to learn more.